Malison, the Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below.
Feeling like a dead duck, spitting out pieces of his broken law. Oh, I quit long. Some streaking cold, an old man wandered lonely, taking time the only way he knows. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Malison, the Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere, Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause.
Alright, folks. Alright, folks. So, tonight we're getting back into Look Outside stuff, but before I do, I want to give a short little update to kind of show what I've been working on. So I kept working on this on Monday, and yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff added. Here, I'll show. I've improved a lot of stuff. There we go. So, one thing I added. So I added a map display for the game. I also added something for me to debug the map generation. So I made it that I can now step by step through the map generation. So you can see the different steps here and like the name of the steps. So I can identify what the problem is if something isn't generating right. So here you see the different steps for generating the forest. There you go. It's placing the enemies and the treasures. Oh, and there's treasure chests now. There's containers that spawn as well. That's new. Here it adds the lakes. Added an entrance area. Added a path to it. A boss location. A path to the locked house. Exit ruins. A path to the exit ruins. And then it finds the inaccessible spots. This is the thing I was working on at the end there. Making sure that you can always reach every enemy and every item. There you go. And then places enemies and treasures. Spawns the bosses. And there you go. That's the generation. And now you have an actual minimap as you play. Now, I'm using a cheat right now, so it's always showing me the minimap. But normally it would uncover as you explore. Like it uncovers the same way that you're like from your vision. No, that was always planned from the start. The visitor and the Unity plot. That was planned from the start. Oh, I've added that items can stack now. And also some items have multiple uses, like the travel rations. The travel rations are now, like have 4 uses each. So you start with a little bit more food stored up. You start with a little bit more food stored up now. And let's see if I can find something along the way. I added a lot to the forest. So let's see here. Let's just equip the robes, the tattered cloak. I still haven't added... oh, here's a bag. So the container you find in the forest the most is the bag. There you go. And there's 2 apples in this one. And you see apples now stack. So apples don't take as much space in your inventory anymore. Yep. Yeah. The separation. This is this is binary space partitioning to separate the initial map into smaller rooms. Let's see if I can find some more stuff. So another thing I added locked doors that you can open and regular doors you can open, and I made it that the map generates a like a ruined house that has nothing to do with the entrance to the depths of the maze. So it's like its own little. I might just die here though. Yeah, that's a lot of enemies. Enemies can still attack you through walls if they use abilities. That's something else I need to fix. Can I kill it? Okay, I got it. So I should be able to find the locked entrance. So I made it at this this house that generates in the woods only spawns with a single entrance, and that entrance is a locked door. And I placed a boss that always spawns in the woods, a forest guardian that always drops a key when you kill it. Oh, this is an pathfinding error there. Well, it's not really a pathfinding error. It's just, okay, there you go. So there's the locked door. So this is the one entrance to this door. And I made it that this building generates with enemies from, like, lower floors. And also from more advanced items. So if you get the key, if you kill the boss and get the key and enter this, you actually get some really good items, but also some really nasty enemies. And yeah, the door is locked. Look for a small key. Small keys actually have a chance of spawning from just regular treasure too, but if you find and kill the guardian, it's a guaranteed drop from it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I added quite a bit. I added quite a bit to the game. Yeah, including the there you go. Eating some apples. Equip that sword. And the round shield. And also, let's eat that forest mushroom and the travel rations. There you go. Let's see if I can find... I'm just going to clear, like, that first floor, basically. Just to show a little bit all the new stuff. But yeah, the level generation improvements are pretty significant. I made it that now the level generation is way more reliable. It no longer makes like those tiny, you know, those floors that just spawn with 2 rooms. It doesn't do that anymore. I fixed that completely, and now I can like I can really like with the display of the map as it's being generated. I can really fine tune the generation algorithm now, so that's going a lot better. So generally the boss appears in the furthest... The boss appears in place of... Oh, also there's money now. But I didn't actually implement that fully yet. So you actually grab money now. You find treasure. And there's a lot of different tiers of treasure you can find. Also, the final room. The ruins that spawn the door, like the stairs down, are also much more dangerous now. And also spawn with, like, more treasures in it. So, there you go. I found some good stuff in there. A good shield, good armor. So if you go to that ruin, here, this is a better... this is supposed to be a crate, but it uses the wrong sprite. I found a travel rations there. And more forest mushrooms. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can find now in the final ruins here. Yeah, we're gonna get the meta progression at one point. But yeah, that's going to be a really fun little side project to just occasionally work on. This is really fun. Like adding to like when you already have like a system to that lets you like easily add to something like this. Like it's just really fun to work on because it feels like you're working on these tiny little chunks instead of working on like this huge project, which is what I'm used to. I'm used to working on like a huge project where you don't really see the results of what you're working on because everything is, you know, it's not like granular enough, but something like this is really granular. So it's a lot of fun. Gonna eat some food here. And it's fun that it's a project that I can just kind of update. Like, I can update whenever I make something on it, you know? It's not like something I need to keep secret. Like, whenever I have a stable version, I can just update it. Oh, I'm gonna die here. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely gonna die here. Unless I maybe throw a knife. I threw a knife, but I don't think that was enough. I think I'm dead. Alas, I couldn't show the... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to cheat to go to the next floor. There we go. So now I'll just show quickly the other floor generations. So there you go. This one. Oh, this one just separated into 3. That's not right. That's not enough splits, but whatever. But yeah, here. So this is the caves. The first level of the caves is really small. There we go. Look at that. And then there's a lot of steps because it needs to make sure that every treasure is accessible. And then there you go. Then next floor. That's the larger caves floor. There we go. One issue is this one is that the exit floor, like the exit stairs are always spawning way too close to the entrance. I need to fix that. That's kind of annoying. It always spawns way too close. But yeah, seeing it in action is really cool, and it really helps me to actually debug or like tweak it. The next one, that is tunnels. So this one is one that needs a lot more work. Perlin noise, not really, but something a little bit like that. Like this one, this one is a little bit like a Perlin noise thing. So first thing, just adds noise. Second thing, it like checks how many like tiles near each opening. Like it basically simplifies. It removes noise, and then it adds more things, and then it makes sure that adds enemies and treasure locations, finds inaccessible items and enemies, and then it adds paths so that you can reach every piece of treasure. But this one needs more work. This one definitely needs more work. Like what it generates right now is coherent, way more coherent than before, but it's still feeling kind of, you know, I can show here a little bit. Like what it generates is just, it is very noisy, and also doesn't have a lot of enemies. That's another issue, is that because most of the map is inaccessible, is walls, like there's not a lot of spots for enemies to spawn in, and so the way that I place enemies just adds very few in this floor. So I need to tweak this one. This is the one that, this is the algorithm that needs the most work. Yeah, that's the thing. When I make it connect rooms, I can choose whether it makes diagonals, whether it uses diagonals, or if it only uses the main 4 directions. And I set it by default so that it uses diagonal paths. But for this one, I should force it to use only the 4 main directions for it. That would make a better result in this specific map. Okay, next one is... This is the Ruined Dungeon. This is the one that had issues where it sometimes spawned just 2 rooms. And I think it doesn't do that anymore. I think I fixed that. Now it's much more reliable in generating a good map. I fixed one of the main issues, like the thing where it's like the binary space partition basically was ending too early. Like there was a logical mistake that made it abort the process early in certain circumstances, and that's what made it sometimes only generate 2 rooms. And I think I fixed it for the most part. It might still happen sometimes, but see, there you go. So now, yeah, it's much more reliable. There's still some more stuff I want to do to these. So right now, one of the main things I want to add to these rooms, to this system, is to add sort of like special generation rules for specific rooms it creates. So like when it splits something into a bunch of rooms, instead of just adding some noise into those rooms, I wanted sometimes to like, okay, put a specific kind of room here. Like turn this room into a library. Turn this room into a dining room. Turn this room into an armory. Turn this room into barracks. You know? Like give themes to rooms, and that would give it a rule for how to generate the interior. And that would make much more interesting looking rooms, you know? I really like that kind of thing. Yes, but right now, even those runes that it inserts in the house, it's just another set of like a room that's split into smaller rooms. It's not... But yes, it's a little bit like that. Yeah, like that's like a themed smaller segment. But I want to make it more specific to like a type of room. So the rooms of that house in the forest would probably get those little themes like, okay, this is turned into a dining room. This is turned into, right? So that's probably what I would do. I would try to make it that it can actually add specific themes and rules for these individual rooms generated here. Should get more variety for these things. There you go. That's another one. Again, it's a dungeon. There is an issue where sometimes the rooms, like the paths between the rooms, become sort of redundant like this, and kind of carves these paths in between like that. And those are a little bit annoying. Those look kind of ugly. I want to fix those. At least I want to remove the path graphic for them. That would be pretty quick to do. Because yeah, it creates like these kind of weird like paths like this that I don't like. It should be generating a bit more enemies in these now, but still I think it's still not quite right. Yeah, that's just an artifact of the debug system. Because normally you don't see anything while this is happening. Normally this happens like almost instantly. Like I can remove the cheat that adds the turn by turn, the step by step generation to show you what it looks like usually. Let me just start this over without the cheat. So you'll see what it's like when it just generates it. So this is without the cheats on. Like that. So it just shows you the percentage of progress, and then, you know, so there isn't that weird thing happening. Yeah. So this is really, yeah. So there's some visual oddities there that are just from that generation, that debug generation thing to show me. Also here you see how the map works. Oh yeah, it's pretty fast. Yeah, it's pretty fast. This, and also this room here. This room here is like this first floor is the slowest one. That is the absolute worst one because it's a huge map, and the algorithm I'm using to like find the paths, to like build paths between 2 points, is a particularly slow so A-star pathfinding algorithm that I explained in a short not too long ago. And you know, I'm not a very experienced programmer for these kinds of things, so there's probably a bunch of ways to make these work better. Oh yeah, I can show the levels below the dungeons if you like. But yeah, I can. Let me just turn off the step by step for this. There you go. Yeah, I can show the levels below the dungeons. Those I haven't yet implemented the step by step logic for the deeper levels though. Like this one doesn't actually show this because I need to actually break up the generation into these steps so that it knows how to separate it. And right now this one is still just generating the whole thing at once. But I can show the map here visually. So this one, the first, like the hell cave, the magma cave. The idea of this one is that it's kind of like the forest. It's like a big open space, but it's like a hell cavern instead of a forest. But it's like another, like, it's supposed to be a little bit like the forest, like the very first floor. So it's big, open, and it'd be full of enemies. So that would hopefully make it very intimidating with just the sheer amount of fights you have to do to get through here. Right now, it doesn't really generate enough enemies for that, and yeah, you need to find this kind of hell fortress to find the way down, and then from there, you get to this one, which also isn't separated yet. And this is like the hell fortress, which is more like the dungeons, but with a different tile set, a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more organic, and with higher tier enemies. And then there's another floor of that. Oh, it broke. It broke. Whoops. I don't know why. I'll need to debug this. I've been going through all the different algorithms and fixing them up. There might be an issue with the Hell Fortress one. But after this, there's just a larger Hell Fortress, and then finally the bottom floor, which is like a frozen hell kind of place. And then for now, that's where the game ends. So yeah, that's the progress on this so far. So I'll be putting up a new version of this pretty soon. I'm not working on this tonight. I just wanted to show what I did since last stream, because I've been working on this quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. It's a very fun kind of project to work on. But yes, so I'll be putting up a new version once I have a few more. There's a few more things I want to do before putting up the new version. Actually, I need to see if I can put up a new version, because depending on the rules of the game jam, some game jams literally like prevent you from updating anything on your game after it's over. And I don't know if they do that for the 7-day roguelike. Do they? Oh, no, okay, cool. It looks like they don't do it. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, some game jams sometimes, like, literally prevent you from updating anything. And I mean, I'm just doing a thing where I'm keeping a jam submission download that's separate from the browser version and like the up-to-date version. But yeah, sometimes like they just, like that actually happened for Look Outside. I think it was, yeah, for Look Outside. Yeah. Yeah, for Look Outside, I had to make like a new game for like the post jam version, because I couldn't update anything in the jam version while they were judging, during like the judging period. But yeah, that's the update for the roguelike. And now let's go to let's finally go back to serious business. Let's go back to serious business, folks. We got some looking outside to do. So I've been trying to figure out some stuff for the translation, for localization purposes. I've been trying to figure out some localization things. But for tonight though, I mean, I can show a little bit of that stuff. So I've been so we've been looking on trying to get localization going, but there's sort of a mismatch between RPG Maker, how RPG Maker works, and how like professional localization firms work. There's a bit of a mismatch, and that's kind of a complicated thing to do. Basically, I need to find a way to, because like professional localization like teams, like the one that Devolver works with, they expect a very specific way to submit them the work to translate, and I haven't found a tool that works with RPG Maker. So there's a lot of different programming, like there's a lot of different programs that extracts all of the text from an RPG Maker game and puts it into a thing so that you can localize or translate it, and then can import it back into the game to make different language versions, right? So there's a bunch of programs like this. But so far, I haven't found one that the thing it exports matches what a professional like translation firm is looking for. So far, it's like the best one I found for it is Translator++, but it still doesn't really do what I need. But it's the closest, so I might have to like do something with this. So here is Translation++, Translator++, and it seems really good. But it's still sort of meant for hobbyists, It's not meant to, like, it doesn't fit very well with, like, someone's existing system. It's meant to be something that you use for itself, It's a program that, it's a program that, it lists all of the text of the game. All of the text of the game is now, like, set in all of these little tabs here. For every map, it's separated in every map, right? And like the enemies are listed here. Everything is listed here. And also it allowed me to, I needed to exclude certain things to not be translated, because some things are like logic. They're not actually text, right? Like this here, like all of these little special tags, these should not be translated because they're not text, they're code essentially, right? So I was able to use regular expressions actually to find all of these things to exclude without having to go through the files one by one for like an hour. So that was nice. So yeah, there's like these red lines next to stuff that shouldn't be translated. But yeah, the problem with this though is that what this actually exports, if you try to export this, there's like an export function, and you can export it as like a zip file, as CSV files, as Excel spreadsheets, and all that. And that's good. That's a good first step, right? You can export it as a spreadsheet. That's exactly the kind of thing that those translation firms are looking for. They want a spreadsheet. Problem is that they want a single spreadsheet with everything laid out in one giant spreadsheet, right? Because this is what they can feed into their whole system for translation, right? It expects a very specific input. But instead, unfortunately, what this program generates is a bunch of separate spreadsheets like this, like hundreds of spreadsheets like that. All separate lines. And another issue is that what it actually generates here, let's open this one. What it actually generates in each of these is this. Which, of course, I mean, it's not, it's not. But this is what it generates. It just lists them like that. It just lists them like that. And, I mean, of course, there's other lines here for, like, different translations. And you can have, like, different languages, and it would list all the languages and stuff. But another issue here is that it's missing an index. So one of the things they need is they need a unique identifying index for every single line. And it doesn't have that. It just lists them like this. So I need to either basically find a better tool that generates something closer to what those firms are looking for, right? Or I need to build something myself to essentially, yes, that's what you just said here. Or use something to essentially turn this into what they're looking for. Like, for instance, maybe a LibreOffice macro, right? I could maybe try to make a macro that would go over all of these files and combine them. That would be something else. Another thing is that, unfortunately, see, like, what the things, the way that I marked a bunch of lines to not be translated. It doesn't look like it exports that data at all. That's another issue. So unfortunately, although the information is available in the project here, like it marks that there's certain lines should not be translated, that information does not actually end up in this at all. Right? And so that means that the translators would get a bunch of junk that is just a waste of time to translate. And that's another problem. And that one is going to be harder to solve. I don't know how to solve that problem. I would need to change how this program works. I would need to change how this program actually does its job. And I honestly just don't know how to do that. So in the export options, you can actually make it ignore certain tags. So when I export to a folder like this, and if I pick a folder, I can actually make it exclude certain tags, right? So I can do not process row with a selected tag, and then I can choose specific tags for it to ignore. Great. That's exactly what I'm looking for, right? Except it only gives you that option for when you export to a folder. If you want to export to a spreadsheet, it doesn't give you that option. It's not there. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about that. There might be something else I can do, but I can't. The problem of it exporting a bunch of different spreadsheets, that one is solvable. I can just make a macro that probably, takes all of these spreadsheets and put them together. I'm sure I can do that because all the information I need is present. But when it comes to the tags thing, I don't know what to do about that one. I literally don't know what to do to solve that part of the problem. Because that information is not there. It is just ignored, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to do. So that's going to be a bigger problem here. Yeah, that. So what I could do for the enemy type for poll viewers, the stuff that needs to be partially translated is I could make it that there is a lookup table, right? It could make it that the names of the enemies as they appear here, enemy types, like enemy type human, instead of using that as a string, I could make a lookup table for it. And it uses this, and it matches this enemy type human to the actual text that it uses. And I could set this text up elsewhere, somewhere that would not be ignored. So that might be a way to make that work. But I think that would be the only one. I think that would be the only piece of string here, the only string that would need to be included out of all of that. I'm pretty sure everything else can just be ignored. The enemy type, I think, is the only one that actually needs to be processed. So yeah. Can I see where it is in the project files of the plugin? Well, it's not a plugin, but yeah, I can look it up. I can see if like somehow I can maybe essentially create the spreadsheet not from this data, but from the actual like project file itself. Like that might be doable. That's something worth investigating. Let's see. So first of all, like where is the project here? Look outside .trans. Look outside .trans. Let's see. Okay, here. So this, yeah, it must be all in this. But this seems to be an XML file. That looks like XML or JSON maybe. Yeah, is this just a JSON file? This might be a JSON file. This appears to be a JSON file. If I remember, I think Notepad++ has a tool to automatically like format stuff that isn't formatted. I forget where it is though. Isn't there a way for that? Isn't there like something to automatically like give a format to something that's like this? I feel like I remember seeing that. Well, anyway, but yeah, this does seem to be yeah, here you see tags. Yeah. This does seem to be a giant JSON file or XML. So that's good. That's good. There's another way to export actually. Let me see here. Maybe there's another export option. Is there maybe another export option? Export to RPG Maker Trans formatted TXT files. No, that would just be TXT files. HTML spreadsheet? Yeah, none of these. They all have a thing to like not. They're all missing the thing that makes them take note of the tags. That's really annoying. Oh, maybe look at that. Maybe translator ++ project package file. Let's see what that looks like. That TPP file? Maybe that's something more usable? Let's see. What does this one look like if I open it? No? Okay, this one's encoded. This one is encrypted or whatever this is, or just like a binary file instead of a sort of human readable XML thing. Okay, but at least the trans file here is human readable, so there's that. Yeah. Yeah, that is indeed the two types of files we got here. There's a binary and a trans file. It's true. That's literally true. Damn. And I mean, the trans file is the one we can work with. But yeah. I don't really know. I'll need to look into this some more. I'm really hoping that someone out there has already made a tool for this, because like that's the thing. Like I'm sure I'm not the first person to hit that problem, right? Like I'm sure that what that translation firm, like the type of file they're looking for, I'm sure that that's like a kind of standard, right? Like I'm sure that that's kind of a standard thing. So I'm sure I would not be the first project that needs this and doesn't have it. So I'm sure if I dig around, I'm gonna find someone who had that same problem and found a solution. Like this feels like the kind of problem that I can't possibly be the first one to have. I'm just gonna hope that whoever had that problem before, made a solution and put it out there, or found a solution and put it out there. But yeah, so this is one thing I've been trying to figure out. How to take whatever this program makes, and yeah, the tag thing is tough. That's yeah. That part's unfortunate. The ideal would be if I could somehow get the translation firm to use this program instead of their usual program, but I don't think there's any way they'll do that, right? They have their way to work. They have like a whole process. They probably have like a whole, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they have the flexibility to change all of their tool set just for that one project, but I don't know. Yeah, the tags, I don't know. I don't know what to do. No, there's possibly a solution for the tags. Like, there might be a solution for the tags thing inside of the program. Like, that's not impossible. Because I have noticed there's, like, ways to, like... There seems to be, like, kind of post-processing stuff you can do, but I'm not sure if it applies to the export thing. Like, I think I remember seeing someplace where you can just put some code. I remember seeing a place where you can just put some... You can just insert some logic in there somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, here, on after export. But it's after export, and what kind of exports is it for? So there you go. There's like a JavaScript. You can put some logic in there, right? Like you can put some logic in here. But which export is it for? And also, it seems like to be something not to run, like to run for, it's after export. That's not, like, that feels like it's too late, right? Also, it wouldn't just be appending CSV files. Another problem that I mentioned before is I also need to generate unique indexes for all of them, which is also not too big a problem. But I can just like, when I append, I generate an index based on like the file name that it comes from, and then just an incrementing number. The problem with this is that this would probably break compatibility to a certain degree anytime there's like a new line added somewhere. That could be a problem, but at least it seems like it might be, as long as there's not too many changes to deal with. And those changes would only be on a per file basis, so like one. So like if I edit something in one room, then that one room would break, which at least would limit the damage. Adding new items would be a problem though. But yeah, so yes, it's a little unfortunate. There's some, yeah, I'll need to figure this out. But yeah, this, I don't know, maybe there's something to do here with that JS editor. But I feel like, I mean, unless after export here, unless this after export means after any single line is exported, maybe it runs this. That would be great. If this is run after all individual lines, then maybe there's something to do here. But otherwise, I have no idea. But yeah, I'm just hoping I can figure out some sort of solution. Well, they work with a single spreadsheet, but like it can have multiple pages in the spreadsheet, but they prefer to have it just be one. But I mean, I had liked, so I asked if I could get into a meeting with them so I can like hash out, so we can maybe try to figure out a solution. Like maybe they're a little bit flexible with this. Maybe this is like the ideal export, but maybe they're flexible. Maybe they can actually deal with some version of this, and anyway, like the bigger problem is the part that has less to do with the single spreadsheet thing. Like the bigger problem, the one that's harder to solve, is the tags thing. That's like the bigger problem, I think. The one that's harder to solve here, because this is just being ignored. And I'm just really hoping I can find, some solution for this. I talked and I joined the Discord for this program, but it doesn't seem super active so far. So I don't know if I'll be getting an answer on that. Anyway, but yeah, that's that is one thing I've been working on in addition to the roguelike thing. Just trying to figure out something on this. I could maybe, one possible thing. One possible thing. Huh. One possible solution could be that I clone this project. Okay? I clone this project and I use regex to delete every single line that has a tag. And then I export that instead. Because, as far as I know, the result of this would still be compatible with, like, the other project. Because it would have the same, like, the result should be the same. So if I can find a way to use, like, regex to delete every single entry here that has a tag. Let's see if I can do this. Let's try it right now. I'm going to save as. Look outside. Trimmed. Let's see if I can find a way to like mass select everything that has a tag. That seems like the kind of thing I should be able to do. So like select no with all for each row. Or maybe here I can do like tags. No. Well, okay, let's just do the search itself here. So here's the search thing. Okay, yeah, so I could... Can I search specifically for...
No, it's time to stretch.
Oh, tag. Target tag? Red? Can I just do that? I don't know how searching tag works. Okay, there you go. That gave me everything that uses the red tag. Okay. And now can I just delete this? Select all. With selection, delete rows. Yes. Okay. And now the blue tag. Blue? Hang on. Okay, this might be the solution for the tag issue, at least. With selection, delete rows. Yes. Okay. The result is this. Now there's a bunch of files that no longer have any entries at all because all of their entries were to be removed, basically. Okay. Yeah, a bunch of these are now, like, especially the JavaScript like plugin stuff, because those usually... Yeah, that makes a bunch of them actually complete. Okay, hang on. Okay. I think I can export this, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to... Okay, let's test it. Let's test it right now. I'm going to add a translation for map 001. The metal detector found something buried here, right? Initial... I don't know why it says initial here. Wouldn't that be original text? What's the difference? I don't really know this program well, but let's do le métal détecteur a trouvé buried something here. Yes! Translation, very good. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this. All right. Also, I can actually check to see how many words are in this project now, too. Let's see. Isn't that? No? Is there a way to get the number of words? Because now that I've trimmed all of the useless lines, I actually... Stats. Okay, so... Okay, the words are down to like 20... yeah. 200,000. Yeah. Total rows is 24,000. Well... It's a big game. Big game, folks. Okay, now let's see. Did this actually... I'm going to try to export this. And then I'm going to open the other project. So this one, here. The metal detector, whatever. And over here, like... no, I want you to... No. Tu veux regarder dehors. Look at that. Non, tu veux regarder dehors. Alright? So I'm going to save all this. And then I'm going to export this. And I'm going to open the other project that was not trimmed. And I'm going to... Wait, wait. I was about to make a bad version of this test. I need to make a test where I do this, but to something that is later. So let's do this on like a last line of somewhere. Here, you find dinner plate. Tu as trouvé une assiette. Tu as trouvé une assiette. Okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to export it as an Excel XLS file. Here. Going to be localized trimmed. Look outside lock trimmed. There we go. Select here. There we go. Export now. So it generates this. Okay. Wait, it only wrote 2? Oh. Oh, this, I think I was selecting only 2. Okay, never mind. Hang on. I need to do this again. I think I had only selected a few maps here instead of exporting everything. It only exported 2. Let's try that again without having anything selected. So it exports everything. Yeah, look outside, trimmed. Okay, export now. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay. All right, now let's just look at it. Let's look at the result to start. Localized. Look outside trimmed. Okay, there we go. And now we have a bunch of files. It's all there. Okay, now let's open the other project, the one that was not trimmed. This is going to be the test to see if this solution works. It would be cool if it worked. It would be really cool if it worked. Okay, now this one, wait, that's not the right one. Wait, what? Okay, had not loaded it yet. No, wait, that's not the right one. It's still the trim, what? Come on. Look outside this one, there we go. Okay, now, okay, now, there we go. And now if I click here, so now it no longer has all of this stuff translated, okay? And now I'm going to import from spreadsheets. There we go. Import folder. And I'm going to import the trimmed version. And I'm really hoping this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I have a problem. Destination column, overwrite target. I guess overwrite target. I'm not sure what that does. I feel like there should be some. So let's import. Okay, it's going through. It's importing. I really hope this works. If this works, then the tag problem is gone. It's just a little tedious to fix, but like that's doable. Like I just did all of this in like 20 minutes. So as like, you know, as a problem with no solution goes, it's not too bad as a solution. Okay, it seems to be importing. Now let's see what the result looks like, though. So closed, okay. Yeah, look at that. It found it. It put it only in the spot. Good, okay. What was the other one? What was the map of the other one? When you found the plate? Was it 10? God damn it, I forget. I forget where I put it. Where was it? I think at this point we know that it works, but Where is it? God damn it. Well, I don't know where the other text is. That's frustrating. You found a plate. Should be somewhere. Oh, you know what? I'll search. I'll search for assiette. Or trouver. Let me that wait, it placed that in 2 places? Hang on. Oh, it found that this line is in 2 places, and so it put it in both. Weird. Okay. Huh. It was in map 15. You find dinner plate. Tu as trouvé une assiette. This one was not imported, so I'm not sure what's going on there. It was map 15. You found it didn't find this one. Why did it not? Why did it not find this one? Find dinner plate. That's not actually working then. I imported this one, but it didn't find it. Why did it not find this one? Oh, man. Why did it not find this one? Well, I don't understand why the imports doesn't work, but that's worrying. I don't like it when things are not reliable. That's there was no error message or anything. It just didn't import that part. Okay, prends-le. Heureux de vous rencontrer. Okay. So again, I'm going to save this. This is the trimmed one. Okay. Now I'm going to export again. XML spreadsheet. No. This one. Look outside. Trimmed. There we go. Export now. Okay. Again, I'm going to test again. If I can figure out at least like why it failed, that'll already be something. Import translation from spreadsheets. Yes. Initial. Import. Wait, what? Yes. Import. Man. Maybe this program is just not reliable. That's a possibility. That it just that sometimes it just doesn't import properly. If so, I just need to find something else. But I mean, this program seems professional. It seems like it knows what it's doing. So maybe I'm just using it wrong. Maybe there's some mistake here. This is also a kind of weird way to use the program, I imagine. Okay, so here, this is still there. And then here, heureux de vous rencontrer, but that's the only one. The others are just not getting imported. Why? Why is this not getting imported? Huh. I don't like that. What if I try importing it again, but selecting another column here? Like, also, I could look into the file itself. Let's see if there's something wrong with the file. Like, data, map 15. Like, what's the problem here? Take it, and tu as trouvé une assiette. These are very simple. So what's the problem? Why is it failing? I thought, god damn it, that's frustrating. I thought I had the solution right here. And then it's like something really basic doesn't work instead. Is it because of the mismatch between the number of entries? Like, okay, let's try something. This might be stupid. G. There's 72 entries here, right? Maybe this is the problem. It doesn't get to the bottom. No, that's not it. I was thinking like, because the one it did enter was at 40, like reached 45. Ah, damn. So what's the problem? Why does it only fill in stuff above? Okay. That's weird. It just feels like a janky thing that doesn't work all of a sudden. That's frustrating, man. I didn't expect it to just fail at like the basic stuff. Expected it would fail at like the weird, complicated thing. Okay, back to here. I'm going to add different things here, like filler 1, filler 2, filler 3, filler 4, filler 5, filler 6, filler 7, filler. I'm looking for like a pattern. I want to see why some lines work and some lines don't. So I'm hoping this is going to reveal something. Like, does it just give up after a number of lines for some reason? I don't know, man. I really need this to work, or else I'm going to need to find another program, or I'll need to do a bunch of work by hand, and I hate that. I'm a lazy man. Okay. So I added a bunch of filler. Okay. Add a bunch of filler. And then I'm going to export that filler. I want to make sure I close this so it doesn't complain. Don't save. Okay. Gonna export this. To look outside trimmed. Okay. It exported it. That's the trimmed one, yeah. Now let's open the non-trimmed one. That's important, and now let's see what happens then. Look outside trimmed. Import. Let's go. I can also try the other options. I can try the other options. I can also try to import some individual files or something, but I don't want to have to do that manually. Okay. Now let's look at map 15. And look at this garbage. So filler 1 and 2 are missing for some reason. Filler 1 and 3 are missing. What's even the pattern here? What is even the pattern here? I have no idea. Just some lines are randomly not imported. That is like unusable. That makes this like garbage, basically. Do you know for sure that it hasn't been updated in that long, or are you just commenting on what the program looks like? I mean, this is just not working. This is different. It's not like this is a bug, it seems. No, it's not RPG Maker Trans. That's there's options to import files made with that, but that's not it. This is Translator++, and it seems to be in active development. I don't have the latest version though, so I could update to the latest version. So you need to be a patron to get the latest version. But the version that's open to the public is like called the stable version, so I just started with that one. But maybe like some of this is bugs that they fixed since, so I'll try signing up as a patron to see if it fixes the problem. But yeah, I mean, if this just doesn't work, I mean, like, what's even the pattern here? Like, I have no idea. Like, what's special about this line, take it all here, and the line Dan? Like, why did these like refuse to import? That's so weird. I'll try and import just a single file instead of the project. Okay, so import file, data, map 15. I'll import that. Oh. What? This one works. Why? Imported files individually works, but importing like the whole thing breaks? Why? I don't like that. I don't want to have to go through 400 files manually to import. What the hell? So that's just jank. It's just broken. I thought maybe I was doing this wrong, but that's telling me this is just broken. Okay, never mind. Let's try again. This time, let's wipe everything here first. And let's import from a single file again, because maybe it was still broken, and it was just broken on different files or something. So let's just try importing a single file. Yeah, no, this is working. Yeah. So when you import a single file at a time, it works. It doesn't let you do that. You only it's either an entire folder or a single file. Okay. I mean, at least I know that in theory this solution works. It just sucks. Hey, Rafael Diaz. Thank you. But yeah, at least this in theory works. It just sucks. I guess I can like file a bug report, but I don't know if they're gonna promptly get back to me here. Maybe. It always fails on the same files too. It always fails on the same lines. It's always the same lines. I mean, at worst, I could like. I could like import the whole project and then just import manually the few files where it breaks if it's not, because it seems to import most of it. So maybe a lot of these are not going to be a problem, you know? Okay, I'm going to use machine translation. Yeah, okay. Let's see that. Let's try to force it to do machine translation just to see what the damage is when I'm trying to import an entire set instead of just one translation at a time. Because right now I'm trying to just import like, some garbage I entered here, just one file at a time. Let's see. I've never actually tried the machine translation on this, but I know it's a thing. So live translation, can I just like connect? Okay. I don't know how this works exactly. But now, can I just make it won't open? Won't open? Oh. I just want anything. I could just fill it with lorem ipsum. Okay, here we go. Okay, when I click, it actually does. I see. Okay. So can I make it like just automate, like just translate everything? Oh, right, yeah. Wait, can you... Actually, this is... I didn't turn on the super chats. Oh, I didn't actually set the languages here. Let's make it to French so I can see. Okay, let's experiment with this. Let's go with... Is this maybe where I can set the languages? From English to French. Can you only do one at a time? Can you not have multiple languages going on at once too in this? Is it only for one language at a time? Huh. That's a bit weird, but... Alright, let's just... I don't know how to, like, automate... Can I just automate it to translate everything? I just want like placeholders basically. Batch translation. Okay. Target column machine translation. Okay. Translate now. Okay, it's going to take a little while. Oh, it's going to take a little while. Okay, well, in the meantime, I guess while it's doing this, I guess I could get some more work done on... I'm going to get some more work done on art for the endings. Let's do that. I guess actually, no, while this is happening, I mean, it's probably not going to be done, but I'm going to go make me some tea. And hopefully when I'm back, it's going to have something. But yeah, so when I'm back, I'll probably do some endings work. Or I'm sure I'll figure something out for this. Okay. Assets, pictures, ending cutscenes. Where was I with finishing the ending art? I was working on Perfect Ritual Truth, right? Yeah. All right, yeah. So yeah, so hopefully this doesn't lag my machine so much that it lags the stream. I don't think it does. Yeah, no, I think I'm still good. All right, but yes, so I'll go make me some tea, and when I'm back, I'm gonna work on this while the translation works in the background. All right. Okay. But yes, I will be right back with some tea. Yep. Let's resume the music too. Okay. Got my tea. Got some chai. Some chai tea. Do 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 do. Yep. Got a machine translation happening because I want to see how bad the problem is. So for context, if you weren't there just earlier, um, I'm trying to figure out how to set up a proper translation processing, I guess, because it seems like one of the functions to import translations from a spreadsheet isn't really working properly. It misses some lines sometimes for some reason, and I want to see just how bad the problem is. So I'm applying a batch translation right now to the whole project to export it, and then I'm going to try importing it and just survey the damage to see just how widespread the problem is. You know, if it's not that widespread, then maybe I can live with the problem and just import things manually for the few files where some things are missing. And if it's really widespread, then I just can't use this program. It's just broken. I'll just need to find something else, because that is unacceptable. I can't go through 400 files manually every time I want to update this. That's nonsense. That's too much work for me. I'm seeing if I can report. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I have access to the actual bug report channel on the Discord of the thing unless I'm a Patreon. So I guess I'll really need to subscribe to them to be able to report this pretty major bug here. Anyway, we'll see. All right. But yes, I'll draw it while still having this in view so I can see when it's done. All right, let's get into it. So here, there's some things left to detail here still. Maybe, yes, I'll move it like this. There you go. Oh, you guys can't see it, but I can see it there. Maybe. Oh, maybe I can use the screen with video. There we go. Hey, there we go. Now you get an update here for how the translation's going. That works. There we go. Now I can use the full screen for this.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
Well, I just want to make the tea, so I think I'll skip that one. Yeah, it would be nice if I could have a good solution for this. It's a bit of a headache. um, I'm very motivated by how well this by how well the roguelike game jam went. That was very satisfying. That was very satisfying to just see something really come together like that. Well, you know, you don't get that kind of payoff, that kind of rapid payoff that often. You know? I don't know if judging has started. I imagine it did, because by now it's fully like it's fully over for everybody now. So I don't know how long the judging is. I mean, I don't really. I don't think it's a particularly competitive kind of event. It's more It's more just about getting something done. Oh yeah, absolutely plan to go to do more. I mean, I've been working on it like today a lot between bits of working on this translation issue. Yes. You know, when I have a lot of fun working on something. Yeah, I know it's not the most popular kind of project, you know. Like, people, uh, most of the people who joined here recently are mostly looking for Look Outside, and, a roguelike project isn't very similar to what Look Outside is, you know. You're not going to get a lot of monster waifus out of a roguelike project. I'm sorry, folks. I understand. That's not really what you're all here for. You know? It's a little bit outside of what people may now consider to be my wheelhouse. It's actually very much inside my actual wheelhouse, but when you get very popular, you live by the That's right, husbandos. I can't forget the husbandos. I can't forget the husbandos. But yes, you'll be shocked to learn that most of the games I work on isn't actually that rich in the waifus and the husbandos. This was actually a bit of an outlier for my usual work. It turns out. I mean, what people consider waifus and husbandos certainly has a lot of range. And perhaps if you consider that wide range, then maybe this has been my bag the whole time. It's true. Depending on how wide the husbandos and waifus go, maybe it's been husbandos the whole time. Maybe it's really been my wheelhouse. I just didn't really realize it, Look Outside was just a revelation where I discovered I had this waifu and husbando creation power this whole time that was latent. I just didn't see it. It was under the surface. That's right. Just imagine someone who's just desperately trying to make really unpleasant looking monsters and creatures, but they can't actually get anyone to engage with their creations in a way that treats them as unpleasant, because everyone's just too fucking horny about them. And just distraught every time. Every time they get a reply on Twitter, Every time they get a horny reply on Twitter, they're just distraught that no one sees the horror anymore, Everyone's just too horny to be afraid. Yeah, all the hear me outs are just another, All of the ear me outs are just another dagger in the heart, No! No, you're supposed to be afraid! You're not supposed to like them! No! And then every time it just the yeah. And now they eventually just stop having any kind of measure of how effective their horror is because people only engage with their work in that other way. So they no longer have any sort of barometer. So they stop improving in their ability to create horror. And their art just inexorably starts moving in a new direction. Yeah. Did I describe Anne Rice? Yeah. It was Anne Rice. Anne Rice wrote Interview with a Vampire, right? Was she distraught at everyone finding the vampires hot? Was she infamously? Hmm. That would be very funny. I don't know if I want to. I've had a few. I've done a few things with Look Outside that were, playing with fire, you might say. And I feel like actually making a Look Outside dating sim would be, I don't think it would I wouldn't think it would be considered playing with fire anymore. I think it would very solidly fall all the way through. No, I did not work on the Rivals of Ether dating sim. I was not involved in that. No, I did help with like a little Rivals of Ether thing, but it was just like a technical thing. They couldn't. They had trouble exporting for the roguelike that they made. There was like a technical problem they had that I helped with. That's my only involvement with that. Anne Rice was one of the handful of authors that sued fanfiction.net. Oh. God. I think the problem is I don't really know how you make, because of course, I mean, you're probably talking more about some sort of parody dating sim here, the kind of dating sim that's released on April Fools, which I think that was exactly what the Rivals of Ether one was, right? And so I wasn't involved in that. And I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how to approach a parody dating sim for something that people clearly really actually want a dating sim for. Like, a parody dating sim to me makes more sense for something that were like it's inherently a joke. But the community for Look Outside is so fucking horny for the monsters that I mean, I guess people are probably like that for Rivals of Ether as well. So I guess it's not a good comparison. Okay, okay. So how, like, I'm not sure how to make it funny. I mean, in the case of, so the thing that's like one starting point that made it funny, I think, for the Rivals of Ether one is that I think the original game basically doesn't have a story, right? Or if it has lore, it's not a story game. So you kind of had to make something up and it could be stupid, right? While with Look Outside, there's a very specific story. Okay, it actually had a huge amount of lore. I thought there was just none, and it was basically it had to basically sort of be made up, you know. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really be in that context for a Look Outside one though, because you literally played a part in building it. So you couldn't really go in there, as a blank slate to make something completely absurd. You're tainted. You're tainted by your involvement. You know the characters, you know how they talk. You can't just make them completely, or you could, but it would be trickier to do. You're tainted. Hmm. Okay, here's my thought. If I wanted to do something like this, I think if I wanted to do a Look Outside dating sim, here's my first thought, my first angle, right? Like my initial idea. It would be it would not be a new environment. The joke would be leaning into the fact that this horrible end of the world scenario is the worst possible time to think about dating, right? I think it would lean into the fact that all of your dating things are putting you in danger and are extremely deadly things to do, right? Like, to do well in the dating, you need to basically act in a suicidal way, right? That would be my angle. Like, you would need to act extremely recklessly, right? And the game would lean into that, would lean into. Yes, it would lean into just how batshit insane your dating actions are to do. Like how complete nonsense this is in this context. That you're essentially like walking to your doom. Now, I'm not sure, like that sounds like a good idea on its own, but I'm not sure how that would turn into an entire game instead of like one joke. But yes, I think that would be my angle. Like that's my thought. It would still be sort of like a survival in an apocalypse kind of deal. But yeah, it would lead into the fact that this is all a very stupid thing to do. That everything you're doing, like you basically have to choose between like survival and dating, and the game is all clearly pushing you towards picking the dating options. And maybe even mocking you every time you don't every time you do something. Like, imagine every time you make something for your survival instead of something for dating, the game straight up mocks you for it. Or, like, tries to guilt you, acts like, oh, you're being, like, a lonely, like, you have to put yourself out there, like, the game keeps trying to convince you. The game pressures you into doing the dating actions and actively mocks you for doing anything else, right? But all of the dating options lead to horrible fucking ends. They're all horrible, horrible ideas, and the game keeps pushing you in those directions. And they all end in just horrifying fates. So it's like it's like it's still the real world, but you happen to be insane. And you have no sense of self-preservation. Or you have at least some sort of voice at the back of your head pushing you towards extremely, awful situations. And the moment you listen to that voice in your head and do what the game is pushing you to do, just disaster follows. I think that's how I would do it. Like, that's my thought on, like, what would work in a way that fits with the game and would be funny. And would also it's sort of like, I don't know. To me, that's what would be funny here. Just really leaning into that. Sticking with the actual context and just having fun with how much it doesn't fit the situation. And it seems to me like there would be like dozens of ways. There will be just dozens and dozens of ways to make various. And what's good about this is that it would actually maybe still work as a horror game. Because this is this is an entire don't go in the basement situation. But where the game has like a cute interface that keeps telling you to go in the basement, and mocks you, chides you for not going down the fucking basement. You shut in, I mean, I guess basement isn't really. It's a bad example for that specific accusation. But yeah, that's the idea. It's just the idea is it's like it's not actually a dating sim, but the main character has like dating sim goggles on top of the real life apocalypse that they're in. And the game just lets you do all of these really stupid things that all end in just horrible things. That's the idea. Yep. I don't know. That's like what I would think would make for a funny but still kind of works as a horror story, but it's presented as, and it would like visually be presented just like a dating sim, and all the interface would be dating sim like, right? I don't know. Now, I feel like I wonder that's probably been done. I feel like it's probably been done. But I don't know if it would be with like all original characters or if it would like use the same cast. I mean, obviously people would probably want the same cast, but maybe it would be a mix, Maybe it mostly starts with the same cast, but then like people from the actual game pop up. I think one possible sort of point of humor there that might be interesting in a gameplay sense, but also sort of in a parody sense, is that like a lot of dating sim mechanics are kind of already sort of like resource management and skill, like RPG-esque skill mechanics, right? So there's already sort of like parallels between the kind of game that like a survival horror RPG can be and the kind of game that a dating sim can be. Like there's overlap there, and I feel like there's probably something to do there. Where you're actively like balancing, you know, you're balancing actual sort of resource management things, but now here with weird dating sim bullshit. And I feel it's like there should be like something where I feel there should be something, and I guess here I guess I'm thinking more not really dating sim as much as like the larger genre of life, not life sim, but like what do you call that, like Princess Maker, like where you're managing, like Gorlak, raising sim, yeah, raising sim. So I guess it's more raising sim that has a lot of overlap with like a survival horror thing, but you know there's some, you know, there's a lot of cross mechanics there. I don't know. I feel like there's something there. I feel like there's something that could be fun there, like legitimately fun, and it would still kind of work as a dating sim. Because of course, all the horrible shit that's going to happen to you are exactly the kinds of things people like. A raising sim for Rad Baby? Yeah. That wouldn't come off as an April Fool's thing though. Yeah, that seems more like something that would be fun. But it feels like something that's more funny just because like the funny part is that we did it and it's not like in itself, you know? Isn't it funny that they actually made a raising sim for the Rat Baby? I mean, of course, there's space to make humor in there. Of course. Oh yeah, you make your own 100 god? It's more like a mafia thing, maybe? Like, yeah, you have a criminal empire. It procedurally generates a horrible abomination. I mean, all of this could be fun, but this seems more like weird spin-off ideas than, you know, like the bit is doing a dating sim because that's what people keep demanding and yearning for, you know. I feel like the April Fool's bit would just be making it a dating sim. But yeah, that's some fun theorizing. That's some fun theorizing. I don't know if we could possibly do this in time for the actual April Fools though, because you know that's in less than a month. That's not a very long time to make a whole thing. We probably would have needed to come up with that a lot earlier. if we had maybe like 2 months for it, maybe it would have been doable. But I think for now, that's gonna have to remain a funny idea. I mean, for specifically for like for the idea I was talking about, you know, of having like a little survival sim. Maybe it would even be a little bit like now that's a much more ambitious idea, but maybe it would be almost like a World of Horror, which is also kind of like a raising sim. I don't know what kind of genre you can say. Yeah, I think World of Horror is basically a raising sim, right? It's kind of raising sim-esque. There's a lot of raising sim-like things in it. Also, isn't that one game Scarlet Grace or whatever it is that you really want me to play? Isn't that also kind of raising sim-ish? A little bit. Yeah, that one. No, didn't it have some kind of raising sim-ish elements to it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the one I'm thinking then. What was there was a game. There was a game I saw not too long ago, around that time. Yeah. Another issue to make a look outside dating sim would be to find the perfect stupid pun title for it. I feel like that's important. I mean, I guess you don't always have to. Yeah, love outside doesn't really work. Hmm. Yeah, look inside your heart. Yeah, that's good. That's not bad. All right, well, the translation, the machine translation is done. So let's set this aside for a moment. Okay. There we go. There we go. We got all the translations, the machine translations here. Now, let's export this and then try importing it and see what we got. Save. Export. And then look outside, lock trimmed, select folder, and export now. Okay. We exported all of it. Then let's open the regular file. Here we go. Now let's try importing this. It's going to take a little while. Import translation from spreadsheets. Import folder. And destination column is machine translation. And let's import. Okay, let's see what the damage is. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Look at that. 51%. 45%. Like, what the hell? Okay, wait, no. Hang on. Hang on. No, never mind. That's... Okay, that's probably not as bad as it looks because some of these... Because it does add... It does count the... You know, the lines that are missing. Like the red lines here. So that those percentages are not accurate. I need to actually go through to see. All the lines, yeah, all the red lines here, the red tag lines that are missing, it's fine that they're missing. Right? Those we can... Some of these it's still actually imported. Okay. Oh, I wonder if this is the problem, actually. I wonder if that's the problem. I wonder if the lines that have like a red... The lines that have a red thing here that still import might be like taking it instead of a later line. I wonder if that's it. Yeah, I wonder if this is what's happening. If this is why some of them are missing here. That might explain it. Like the early lines, the early pages don't have too much. Like so far. But see here, Screamatorium is translated. But this one was marked. But this might have taken the place of another line later, essentially. That used that, you know. So the problem might be that because it imports over the entire project, it thinks that this line here, that Screamatorium line, is just a line that moved from later on. You see? Yeah. I think that might be the problem here. Is that because, yeah, it thinks that those earlier lines are the same as the later lines. I think that's the problem. So there might be a way for me to automate fixing this. I could grab any text that was translated on the line that has a tag. Yeah, here so far, this isn't too bad. So far, most of the lines missing are just lines that are marked as to be ignored. Yeah, this is not too bad. This is not too bad. Yeah, I just wish that the import kept things per file, because yeah, that's the problem. Because the import is for the entire project and not on an individual file basis, it doesn't treat them as separate files. It sort of groups them together project-wise, sort of. Project-wide, I mean. That's the problem. At least I think. Like if I did a search here. Yeah, let's find the first line I can find. Like maybe this one. Let's find this one here. This one had something missing. Oh no, this time it appeared. This time it appeared here. Okay. So maybe it's going to be the later lines that are missing here. I mean, so far, everything seems to be there. Okay, no, so far, everything is kind of there. So maybe the problem is only when there's a lot of things missing? Because I have not so far found a single line that's empty and has no red tag. So maybe... maybe this actually works fine as long as most of the lines are filled. That'd be good. That would be a great news. That would be great news. So far, I haven't found a single one that's empty but doesn't have... Let's check the troops. That's going to be the last big one here. Oh, shit. Didn't like that. Yeah, the troops is going to be the biggest one. Oh, yeah, it does not like me zooming all the way down the troops like that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I see. So even at the end of troops here, it seems to have everything. Huh. Okay. So maybe this is fine? Nice. Metal bat, chauve-souris en métal. Love that. Love that. That machine translation. Machine translation's so good. Oh, but Bent Metal Bat actually did figure out bat en métal courbé. This one does work, but chauve-souris is, you know, chauve-souris is, it's the animal, not, you know. Yeah, so far this seems okay. Yes, so there's ways to to very quickly machine translate an RPG Maker game. I'm just trying to sort of adapt the output of this program to something that the translation firm can use. Okay, yeah, this seems to be working a lot better than I was fearing, so that's good. That is good. Yeah, nice. That's good. This seems to be working. Okay, good. That's, yeah. I wonder how I could I search for, how could I search to see any line that doesn't have a tag to see if it's empty? I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if there's any way for me to... Swarm? How is swarm translating into essaye? That's not... Essaye means try, not swarm. Is there like an expression? Weird. Yeah, but that's not how that's spelled. Oh, is that... That's not how that's spelled. Yeah, that's with an M. That's weird. Anyway. Yeah, this seems to be kind of working. So I'm glad. I'm pretty happy that this is working. So, okay, it seems like the tags issue is something solvable. It just needs, I just need to pull some weird shit. But it seems to be kind of working, at least. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, next step would be building a macro that brings together a bunch of different spreadsheets and turns them into one big spreadsheet. Let's try doing that. Okay. I'm sure you guys are really thrilled at the idea of seeing someone program a fucking spreadsheet macro, but this is what I gotta do now. I gotta figure out a spreadsheet macro. It's gonna be really interesting, you guys. It's gonna be so thrilling. Edit macros. Let's go. Let's go. So this is the Malison. There's some macros I made for all sorts of stuff to export assets quickly and all that. But now I need to make one for this lock kit. Okay, so time to look on Google. Okay, let's look for macro appending spreadsheet. Okay, so appending a spreadsheet. So set up a macro. So I've saved. So something I've done a lot in macros is take one file, and then export a bunch of secondary files from one. I've never done the other way around. I've never actually done the other way around. So now I need to take a bunch of separate files and combine them into one mega file. Oh yeah, I can record a macro and see what it does. But I'm not sure how to do this with... So yeah. So let's see how... let's see. So LibreOffice macro, loading spreadsheet. Let's see how to load a spreadsheet. No, that's not what I want. Import spreadsheet. Import file. Import file, maybe. Ooh. Yeah, he's gonna get you. You all will be kelp. All will be kelp. Very good. Thank you. No, I don't want to import a macro file. I want to import files using macros.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
All right, let's do a quick stretch. Let's do a quick stretch. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. LibreOffice macro reference. Let's see. Where'd you get? Okay, here's the documentation. Wait, what is this? Is it trying to sell me something right now? Okay. No, that's not what I want. I want, like, come on. No, I don't want this. I just want an actual help online. Are you... Okay, there we go. So how do you load an external file with this? Okay. Alright, I'm no longer waiting on a line there, so let's just go back to regular screen. There we go. Okay, you can access other sheets, but how do you access like a separate file? This doesn't seem like a complete reference material. This seems like an introduction to the basics. Writing macro, live office, loading, load file, load from other file. Is that gonna help me? No, that's not what I want. No. I don't want to import macros. I want to load a file. Okay, import data from a calc file. Maybe that. It's a video though. That's unfortunate. I'd really prefer it to not be a video. Wait, no, that's just how to do it manually. That's just like the absolute basics. Not what I'm looking for. Is this selling me a book again? Okay, no. Okay, I can try to record here. If I record, maybe it's going to show me what the commands are. So I could try doing that. Tools, macros. Wait, how do you record one? Can you record from here? Okay, is this gonna help? No, this is still that. That's still the basics here. X document, maybe? Reads data from an open sequential file. Okay. Okay, I think maybe... So I think this might be how I do this. But something else I could try is instead... Maybe I should describe more specifically what I'm doing. And maybe that's going to be easier to find the code I'm looking for. So like, combining all, like, let's see. Merging multiple spreadsheets into one. Maybe that's going to give me something. Copilot up there. Okay, here. All sheets into the combined sheet. Okay, there you go. That looks a bit more like what I'm looking for. So here, combine sheets with different headers, yeah. No, this is sheets though. It's not different files. This is in different sheets, not different files. This is... Okay, let's see. No, that's not for a macro. Well, the AI did this. The AI answered with that when I made the search. Merge sheets. Let's look at it. Let's look at what it gave me here. Okay. No, here. No, yeah, here. It merges all sheets into one. But sheets are like the pages in the bottom. That's not what I'm looking for. This is the same thing. A few of the first ones here. Multiple files, maybe? Maybe that's going to give me something better. Calc macro merging multiple files. Maybe that's going to give me better results here. Because... Oh, here we go. This looks a bit more like what I'm looking for. Oh, this is another... They're selling me a book again, I think. Are they selling me a book here? Maybe not. Okay, no, this is how to record a macro. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, oh, okay, here, maybe... Merge multiple ODS files. Okay, this might work better. Let's see if this one works. Okay. This does seem to be picking specific files here instead of sheets. So that's an improvement. Okay. How does it get the files here, though? Where does it get the file? Okay, let's... I'll try to paste this into there to look at it more closely, because this is a small window here. Let's look at what this is here. Okay, does this actually make sense here? Let's see. Not actually, it's not gonna be ODS files, but... Okay. Okay, I think file picker means it would open up a... I think it would open up a... File picker get files. Let's see, what does that do? Let's look into what this does here. File picker. Okay. Okay. File open multi-selection mode. Okay, I think yeah, that's gonna just open a dialog where I can select multiple files. And also append filter that would actually be XLSX. XLS files. Okay. Source doc. Okay. Get the first sheet. In this case, I would only need one sheet. So yeah, this would only check the first sheet every time here. But what is it doing here? It copies the range. Okay. Cell address. Copy range from source. Where does it select a sheet? Yeah. So what I would need to do from this, so this seems like a macro that it's generated here to just select files from a menu, and then it would just automatically put them all into like one at the end of another. So that's a good starting point. Let's see if this works. This might break, but let's see it. So So if I save this, I'm going to add this to, no, not properties. There would be options here. No, customize. Customize, yes, okay. And here we go into macros. And... no, not that. My macros. Wait, what? Wait, why is it not? That should be listing it there. Okay, here. Merge ODS files, okay. Now it should show me under customize, macros, merge ODS files. Okay, now I can move this here, can move it all the way up. So I should be able to use this only in this file. There we go. Only for this file here. Takes a little while to set this up. There we go. Only for this. Merge ODS files. Okay, so I think, if I understand how this works, this is going to open a file dialog. No. Okay. Okay, so this isn't quite right. Okay, I'll need to debug this. At least it's giving me a starting point. At least this is giving me a starting point. So file open multi. Okay, let's check for the file picker initialize parameters. And let's see what the problem is here. In basic. No. Create service. Supported files. Where's initialize? Oh, file dialog set multi-selection mode is true. Display directory. Okay, I can set an initial thing here. So I can set initial path here. And init path can be... dim init path as a string. Init path is an empty string. I'm not seeing the initialize bit. So maybe that's just maybe I don't need to run this at all. No, that's not it. It's single quote is comments, right? Yeah. So I'm not seeing this in this example here. The rest seems to be here. Set multi-selection mode true. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. Object variable not set. Oh, it's file picker, not file dial. Yeah, that was just a bad copy paste. Okay, there you go. That's bringing me this. That's opening this up. Let's make it start at here. Let's add this here as a default path. I might need to escape the slashes here. I don't know if that's a problem in BASIC. Let's see if it works. Yes, okay, it works, good. And now I guess I can just grab a few of these here. Basic runtime error. Not found copy range. Okay. So what is source range here? Source range is an object. Get cell range by position. Okay, so source sheet here should be source dot sheets. So what is get cell range by position then? Trying to figure out how to make this this work. This is how you define a range of cells. Copy range. Copy range. How does that work? That's a sheet thing. Here it said copy range doesn't exist. Let's try this one. Property or method not found copy range. And this is source range. Am I actually setting up source range? Yeah, source range is an object. So it is being declared up here. Here it is being assigned a range of a range here. So why is copy range not working? Well, here this seems like it should be working. Sheet, target cell address, source range address. I don't see what's wrong with this. I don't see what's wrong with this. And if I copy several... Okay, it's always the same one. Okay, maybe I can print the value of this here so I know what's happening. So like here, I forget how can you just append things like this in BASIC? I don't know. Okay, that's not how this works. Yeah, I don't know very much about BASIC, so... Didn't I do something like this before? Hang on. Let's go look at Malison's enemy database. Because I did have some messages in this one as well. Do 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 do. Oh wait, this works. Oh. Do 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 do. Copy range. Do 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 do. Seems to be how that's used. It doesn't even open the thing anymore. It's just a syntax error, I see. Wait, paste row? Maybe the last row? Okay, no. That's paste row. Okay. Do 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 do. Let's put a breakpoint here. Okay. Do, 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 do. I don't know how do you set this to watch the value of that? Watch source range. Okay, there we go. That's a range object. Okay. It should have the copy range function. And what about O sheet? Okay. Paste rows 1. Range address is out of scope. Oh, shit. That is broken here. Oof. LibreOffice just crashed really hard. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't recognize this. All right, well, I'll keep working on this and figuring out, but yeah, this seems like the code that was generated there is either there's something I don't understand here, or it might have just it might have compiled something that's a bit of nonsense here. But I mean, the way I'm looking it up, this should be working. The source range, that is, that's a cell range, and that does return a cell range, and you should be able to do copy range on that. But it's telling me it doesn't find that function. Maybe I need to import something for that. Okay, so I'm trying to make a macro that takes a bunch of different spreadsheets and combines them all into one giant spreadsheet. Because the localization firm wants like single spreadsheets to work from. Doesn't want like a bunch of different spreadsheets. And unfortunately, the program that I have to import the code, only works with separate, like just exports a bunch of separate spreadsheets. So I need to figure out how to take all of these and bring it all into one. And there's more stuff I need to do on top of this, but yep. But yeah, I'm not too sure yet how to do this. Yeah, I don't, I've done some stuff about exporting files. I've never done importing files and merging them into one. And yeah, I need to figure this out. But yeah, I'm sure I'll figure this out. All right, but yeah, that's going to be it for tonight, folks. Thank you all for watching. And take care. Before I go, as usual, here is my Patreon. Please have a look. And let's look for someone to raid. Oh, okay. Not a lot of people playing the game right now. All right, let's raid Sticky Ricks. Sticky Ricks. Yeah.
That guy had an achievement. He only took like 2 turns to kill.
Oh, hang on. I just.
Yeah, Henderson is keeping his guns and ammo in the basement. I need to find somebody with the key. It must be in his apartment on the ground floor. Yeah. So you can go to the basement, and I know there's
There we go.
for it because it's one of the few achievements that's not hidden.
All right. Thank you all for watching, folks. And take care.